The country that promised never again, now watching the seeds of a new extremism grow in its own streets, its own schools, its own phones. This is not a story about some distant war zone. This is about Hamburg, Berlin, Munich, about teenagers scrolling TikTok on the U-Bahn and stumbling into content that quietly tells them, Germany is your enemy, democracy is a lie, the Caliphate is your future. Earlier this year, more than 2,000 Islamists flooded the streets of Hamburg. They were not asking for better jobs, better housing, or better schools. They were chanting for a caliphate, not in Syria, not in Iraq, in Germany, in the middle of the European Union, under the flag of one of the world's most liberal democracies. Let that sink in. They demanded rule by religious law in a state built on a secular constitution. They raised their voices, their banners, their slogans, and the authorities, for the most part, watched. Because here is the terrifying paradox. Germany is so afraid of repeating its authoritarian past that it may be too paralyzed to defend its democratic present. Groups like Muslim Interactive know this perfectly well. They play a double game. On camera, they talk about justice, dignity, and defending Muslims from discrimination. But in their posts, their speeches, and their private chats, they glorify the dream of a future German caliphate. They call the current system colonial, corrupt, illegitimate. They present democracy not as a gift, but as an enemy. And they are not speaking to elderly radicals in basements. They are speaking to 15-year-olds on TikTok. Their videos are sharp, fast, addictive. Street interviews edited like music videos. Leaders posing like influencers, not preachers. Professional graphics, emotional music, emotional language. Every clip designed to do one thing: turn anger into loyalty. A young Muslim who feels insulted at school, a refugee who cannot find a job, someone who sees every headline about Gaza, about airstrikes, about hate crimes, suddenly hears a voice online saying, "You are right to be furious. Germany will never accept you. The West will never respect you. Join us. Reject them. We are the future." Now adds something even darker. Since 2015, Germany has been hit again and again by terror attacks and attempted plots, stabbings, vehicle attacks, Christmas market horrors. Many were carried out by individuals radicalized almost entirely online. No training camp, no secret cell, just a smartphone and a steady drip of hate. Security reports now warn Germany is increasingly a hub, not just a target, a center where both Islamists and far-right extremists feed off each other's violence. Every Islamist attack becomes a gift for anti-migrant politicians. Every far-right attack becomes new fuel for jihadist propagandists. Each side points to the other and screams, "See? We were right. They want to destroy you." Germany stands in the middle of this crossfire, and yet when thousands march for a caliphate, the official response is often painfully cautious. Police chiefs say, "The slogans are extremist, but our laws on speech are strict." Justice officials shrug. Calling for a caliphate is absurd, but not automatically illegal. So the rallies continue, the videos continue, the recruitment continues, and the rest of Europe watches and whispers, is Germany going to do anything before it's too late? Because we've seen this movie before. In the 1990s, radical preachers in London were dismissed as clowns until their followers linked up with Al-Qaeda and helped inspire attacks across the West. In the 2010s, online memes about the Islamic State were brushed off, until thousands left Europe to join a real-world caliphate in Syria and Iraq. Germany cannot afford that kind of sleepwalk again. Not in a country with Europe's biggest economy, millions of migrants and refugees, and rising polarization on every side. The numbers alone should shock. Islamist and anti-immigrant crimes are both climbing. Attacks against refugees more than doubled in 1 year. Knife attacks and terror incidents involving asylum seekers, still rare, make headlines for weeks, and every time, the far right surges in the polls. One stabbing in Solingen, and suddenly deportation laws, refugee benefits, and border controls are rewritten almost overnight. This is how a democracy fractures, not with one giant explosion, but with constant small shocks that push people toward the extremes. The real danger is not only in the streets, it is in the quiet shift inside people's minds. Non-Muslim Germans see footage of Caliphate rallies and begin to think, maybe every mosque hides an enemy. Many Muslims see endless headlines about bans, deportations, and raids and begin to think, maybe this country will never see us as equal. In that poisoned climate, extremists win twice. They recruit supporters and they destroy.